Hi everyone, welcome to Inside and Out Yoga and Meditation, where every day we help you reach your highest potential inside and out. I'm Emily and I'll be your yoga instructor. Today we have a nice full practice that's definitely going to help you work up a sweat. All you'll need is your mat and maybe a block if you need some help with those balancing poses. If you don't have a block, totally fine. You can use a shoebox, a water bottle, a book, anything that helps you bring the earth to you. And at the end of your practice, don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Inside and Out Mindfulness. Let's get going. All right, everyone, join me in a comfortable seat of your choice. I'm going to be sitting cross-legged. We will be coming to this position after we have a little chat. But for now, if you're not into this, you can sit on your shins, on a pillow, on a block, on a blanket, anything that suits you right now. So find your seat, and if it's available to you, bring your eyes to a close or simply soften the gaze. Hands can rest on the top of the thighs in whatever position you're in. And we'll bring our attention to our breath. Seeing where it is today, bringing our inhales and our exhales in and out through our nose. Are you noticing any tension in your jaw, in your shoulders, in the breath itself? Just take note of that without judgment. Oftentimes I find when there is tension in our body, there's also tension in our minds. Those things tend to be tied together. And we need to work to let it go. And it's obviously easier said than done, right? But maybe on our mat, doing a physical yoga practice, we can take one step closer to letting those things that say don't serve us go. Maybe that's expectations that we've set for ourselves, expectations that we set for others, things that bring tension to us and often manifest in tension in the body. So when we let these things go on our mats during our yoga practice, they have a tendency, if we're lucky, to translate to our everyday lives off the mat. So maybe we'll get lucky today. We'll start with 3 deep cleansing breaths. Inhaling deeply through the nose, and maybe on the exhale you open your mouth and sigh it out. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling, sighing it out through the mouth, maybe even with sound. And one last inhale and sigh it out. Can bring the eyes open, and if you're not already in a cross-legged position, join me here, and we're actually going to stack our legs in what's called a fire log position. So my right knee is right over my left foot, and my right foot is right over my left knee, stacked. If your knees are kind of hovering, that's totally fine. You can bring a blanket or a towel, maybe even a block that might be a little uncomfortable. Maybe something a little softer would be better there, a pillow. But if it's not bothering you, like kind of just hanging in space here, then you can let it go. And this might be your stretch for today. You might tent the fingers on either side of your hips, and this might be a really intense stretch in the back of your thighs. Or maybe you'd like to crawl it forward a little bit, just coming right over your right leg, only as far as you can go. Maybe you can go completely down, folding over your legs. Maybe you need to stay upright with the fingers tented in front of you. Everyone's different. Every day is different. Breathing into any sensations, making sure to not be bringing the shoulders all the way up to the ears, creating tension, right? We're trying to let go of tension. And if you've folded forward, bring yourself back up to a seat and switch the crossing of your legs. So your left leg will be on top, left foot on right knee, left knee over right foot. I like to keep my feet flexed here to kind of give some protection to my knees. And see how this side feels. Maybe this side you need to stay upright, whereas the other side you are able to fold forward, or vice versa. We're not symmetrical beings. We're not meant to be, and that's okay. We have to thrive in our imperfections, right? Just taking a moment here before we really get moving. We'll come back up to our seated position, unwind the legs, and meet in a tabletop. Hands beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips, tops of the feet really pressing into the earth, fingertips are spread wide. We're activating our core here. We're starting to find some strength and stability in this simple tabletop pose. Inhale, drop the belly, open the heart, maybe look up. That bothers your neck, you can stay neutral. Cow spine. And exhale, round through the spine for a cat pose. Letting the head go, really pressing the earth away here. Inhaling, drawing the shoulders away from the ears, dropping the belly. And exhaling, rounding through the spine. You can find some freedom in these movements, maybe taking circles. If you choose circles, make sure you start in either direction. Maybe you wiggle the hips. Maybe this is a child's pose moment. Child's pose is always available to you, so you don't have to pause the video if you need a break. Just go into child's pose and then join me when you're ready. We'll meet back in a neutral tabletop position, and we'll start building some fire in this core, huh? Extend your right leg back behind you. Really find a root in your hands. I like to cup my fingers to help me get like a better grip. Bring the hips to neutral. That means your right hip might dip just a bit. You don't want to go too extreme though. And you don't also want the hip open. Nice neutral hip. And we'll lift that right leg. And we'll do what I like to call windmills. We'll bring the right foot over to the left and sweep it up in the air over to the right. Trying not to move the hips as we do this, bringing the foot to the left and back to the right. Really focusing on the movement of the leg and the stability of our core. And we'll come back to center, extending the right leg and bringing it back. And same on the other side, extending the left leg out. And we're windmilling to the left as we start again and bringing it to the right. Left again, light tap with the toe and bringing it to the right. One more on each side, bringing it to the left and tapping the toe, crossing over to the right and bringing it back to center in our tabletop position. Tuck the toes, lift the hips for our first downward facing dog of the practice. You can shake out your head, yes and no, and take a pedal out of the feet. Feel your shoulders drawing away from the spine, really pressing the fingertips into the earth. And find some stillness. Maybe your heels come down to the earth, maybe they don't, and that's fine. We're not here to judge our body's abilities. And on your next in-breath, we'll lift the right leg to the sky, bend the right knee, and open the hip. We want to make sure the shoulders stay neutral here. We don't want to be opening up through the shoulders. We really want to be isolating the openness of our hip. Kick the right leg out long. Bring the right hip crease back down so the toes point to the earth. And step your foot between your palms. Bring the left knee down, untuck the left toes, and we'll rise for a crescent lunge. You can really lean into this left hip if that's available for you. It's not super available for me, so I'm not going to lean too much. And again, if you have a tendency to bring your shoulders up to your ears, just go ahead and leave your hands at your hips. Totally fine. We'll bring the hands back down to frame the right foot. Tuck the left toes, come up for a low lunge. Nice long spine. Inhale, right arm comes up to the sky. Maybe you Take a glance at it for a nice twist. And exhale that hand back to the earth. Plant the palms, step the right foot to meet the left. We're in a plank pose. You can lower your knees if you'd like to, or you can bend the elbows slowly and lower as one all the way to the earth. Untuck the toes, keep the hands right where they are, but draw the shoulders down the spine and the elbows together. Use the force of the palms as you inhale and lift for baby cobra. Tuck the toes, and you can move through tabletop if you'd like, and lift the hips back to downward facing dog. Reconnect with your breath here. And on your next inhale, bring that left leg to the sky, bend the knee to kick your butt, and open up that left hip. Really pressing in to your 3 pillars, your 2 hands and the ball and big toe and pinky toe of your right foot. Inhale the left leg back to straight, hips to neutral, and exhale, step that left foot between your palms, lower your right knee, untuck the toes. Inhale, crescent lunge, arms to frame the ears or at your hips. Breathing here. Find length in the spine. And bring the hands back to frame the left foot. Tuck the right toes. Lift that right knee. Low lunge. Inhale the left arm up. Maybe look at your fingertips. Draw your left hip crease back. And exhale, bring the left arm back down. Plant the palms. Step the left foot to meet the right. Plank pose. On your exhale, lower as one all the way to the earth. Untuck the toes. Really plant the tops of the feet into the earth. I really hadn't been doing that for a long time, but it makes such a difference in the connection to the earth and your stability. It also fires up your hamstrings and your glutes, which is always good. On our inhale, we'll lift the heart open for baby cobra. Tuck the toes and lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Bend the knees, look forward, and take a nice slow walk, however many steps it takes you, to the top of your mat and fold there. Taking a moment for yourself. And when you're ready, we'll slowly roll up, feeling the force of our feet bringing us to a standing position, to mountain pose, also known as Tadasana. Palms can be open. Maybe you take a moment to close the eyes. And even think of something specific that's not serving you that you want to let go of. It could really be anything. There's no expectation here. On your next inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Maybe you look up as the palms touch overhead. And exhale, bring that prayer through center and fold forward over your legs. Inhale, right leg comes back, low lunge. Plant the palms. Left foot meets right as we send the hips up for downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to a plank pose, and once again, lower as one all the way down. Untuck the toes, plant the palms. Inhale, baby cobra, maybe look forward. Tuck the toes. On your exhale, lift the hips, send it back for downward facing dog. Inhale, bring the right foot to the sky. Exhale, step it forward between the palms. Drop that left knee. We're coming back to our crescent lunge. Inhaling. And on the exhale, bring the hands to frame the right foot. Untuck the left toes and bring the left toes up to meet your right. And halfway lift, spine nice and long. You can bring your hands to your shins, or if you have the space, you can keep the fingertips lightly touching the earth. We want a nice long spine here though. And on your exhale, let it go, fold forward. You can bend the knees if you need to in your forward folds. My practice will not look like your practice. I'm just here to guide you. Root down through the feet and slowly roll up to standing, back to our mountain pose. Inhaling, sweep the arms overhead, and exhaling, folding forward. Inhale, step the left foot back, low lunge. Plant the palms, send the right foot to meet the left, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to a plank pose, and we'll lower once again all the way to the earth. Untuck the toes. Lift the heart on your inhale, baby cobra. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg to sky. And exhale, step it forward between the palms for a low lunge before we drop that right knee and come up, crescent lunge. Bring the hands back down to frame the left foot, tuck the toes, and bring the right foot to meet the left. Halfway lift and fold. Inhale, rise all the way. This time, sweep the arms up right away. And exhale, fold, forward fold. Inhale, right foot steps back, low lunge. Plant the palms, left foot steps back, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward. And this time, if you're ready, we'll lower halfway down to chaturanga through bent elbows. Flip the tops of the feet, straighten the elbows, and come up for an up dog. My shins, my thighs are not on the earth. Or you can stick with lowering all the way and going to baby cobra. We'll meet in a downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg to sky. Exhale, step it forward between the palms. Lower that left knee, come up, crescent lunge, arms to frame the ears or on the hips. Bring the hands to frame the right foot, untuck the left toes, step the left toes up to meet the right, halfway lift, and fold. Inhale, rise, arms sweep overhead. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold forward once again. Inhale, left foot steps back, plant the palms. Right foot steps back, hips high, downward facing dog. Roll forward to a plank pose, and on your exhale, bend the elbows halfway, chaturanga or all the way. Inhale, up dog or baby cobra. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot to sky. Exhale, step it forward between the palms, lower that right knee. Inhale, high, crescent lunge. Bring the hands to frame the left foot, tuck the right toes, step them forward to meet the left, halfway lift, spine long, and exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way, arms sweep overhead, and exhale, fold. Starting to build some heat here. Step the right foot back for that low lunge. Now instead of going to down dog, we'll plant the palms, plank pose right away, and lower half or all the way when you're ready. Flip the feet, upward facing dog or baby cobra, and exhale, downward facing dog. Now if you're feeling a little crazy, you can try taking a hop or continue walking to the top of your mat. We'll all inhale, the heels high, bend the knees, look forward. And now if you're not comfortable jumping, take some walks. Or on the bottom of your exhale, you can hop to the top of your mat and fold there. Inhale, rise all the way, arms sweep overhead, and exhale, we fold forward. Left foot steps back, low lunge. Plant the palms, right foot steps back to plank, and we lower half or all the way right away. Flip the feet. Inhale, up dog or baby cobra, and exhale, downward facing dog. You can try something new this time. If you always hop, maybe you walk. Heels high, bend the knees. On the bottom of your exhale, step jump or hop to the top of your mat and fold. Inhale, sweep the arms high, and on your exhale, we sit back to a chair pose. Whew. Everyone loves a chair pose right in the beginning of the practice, right? Again, if you have some shoulder tension, you can bring your hands to your hips. This also, for me, brings mindfulness of where am I putting my stability, right? We want it in our quads, in our glutes, in our core. Weight is in the heels. And let that go and fold forward. Inhale, spine long. We're going to try jumping back to chaturanga. If you've never done so, you don't have to do it. If you do it every day, you don't have to do it. The key is to land with bent elbows. That's how we avoid injury. So let's see what happens, yeah? Inhale to prepare. Plant the palms and exhale, step, jump, or hop back to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Whew. Now that we've built some heat, found some stability, let's get flowing. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, step it forward between the palms. We're in a low lunge. Spin that left heel down so the toes are facing the front of your mat. The left arm guides you up and open for warrior two. One of my favorite poses to feel powerful in, to feel stable in. Hands parallel, looking over your right fingertips. Flip the right palm, inhale it up and back. Peaceful warrior, keeping the right knee bent. And we'll come to an extended side angle pose, resting the right forearm on the top of the right thigh. Left arm comes over the left ear, pinky side down. Don't collapse all your weight into your right side, right? You want to use the strength of your legs, your glutes, your core to keep you upright. We'll use that strength of our leg to bring us up to triangle pose, straightening through the right leg. Left arm comes up, and maybe you can look at those left fingertips, finding the twist here. On your next inhale, rebend the right leg, sweep the right arm up and back, peaceful warrior. Cartwheel the hands down to frame the right foot, step the right foot back to a plank pose, and you can move through your vinyasa, which is your chaturanga. You're lowering all the way down. Your baby cobra, your upward facing dog. This is a choose your own adventure moment, friends. We'll all meet in downward facing dog, no matter what you chose. Inhale the left leg to sky. Exhale, step it forward, low lunge. Spin the right heel down. Right arm guides you up and open, warrior two. Really rooting through the outer edge of that right foot. Maybe sinking a little lower as the crown of the head draws up. Flip the left palm, inhale up and back, peaceful warrior. Exhale, come down to extended side angle pose. Finding a beautiful long line from the edge, outer edge of your right foot all the way up to your right fingers. Drawing the left hip crease back, maybe looking underneath your right armpit. Bring the right arm up to the sky and use that to bring you up to your triangle pose. Straightening through the left leg, rooting down through the left big toe. Left hand comes to the left shin lightly. Bend through the left knee. Inhale, left palm up and back. Peaceful warrior. Cartwheel the hands down to frame the left foot. Step it back. Plank pose. Move through that vinyasa or skip it all together. This is your practice. You could take a child's pose. You can go straight to down dog. The choice is yours. We're going to build on that. Inhale, right leg comes to sky. Exhale, step it forward. Spin the left heel down. Left arm guides you up and open. Warrior two. Flip the right palm. Bring it up and back. Peaceful warrior. And come down, forearm to thigh. Extended side angle pose. If you have the room, you can bring your hand to the inside of your right foot. Maybe there's a block there. Maybe there's a shoebox. Finding space in the hips. Left arm rises and let it pull you up as you straighten the right leg. Come to your triangle pose. Looking up. We'll come back to that extended side angle, finding a little dance in the hips. Left arm comes over the left ear. Look down. Right hand comes to the right pinky toe side of your foot. And we're going to balance on that right foot as our left leg comes up for half moon pose. Left leg is flexed. Left arm is up high in the sky. My hips are stacked. Really rooting through that right big toe. Maybe you have a block under your right hand. And however many steps it takes you, we'll plant the left palm softly back on the earth. Right arm comes up for peaceful warrior. Cartwheel the hands down to frame the right foot. Step the right foot back and move through your flow, whatever it looks like for you. I'll meet you in downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg to sky. Exhale, step it forward between the palms. Right heel spins down. Right arm spins up and open. We land in our warrior two. Flip the left palm, bring it up and back. Peaceful warrior. Exhale. Left forearm comes to left thigh, or left hand comes to the inside of the left foot. Extended side angle pose. Continuing to draw the left hip crease back, the right hip crease forward. Right arm lifts and lifts the side of those hips, straightening the left leg, triangle pose. My right hip kind of angles towards the back right corner of my mat. And we'll keep the position of the hips as we rebend the left leg and come to our extended side angle pose once again. Switch your left hand to be on the pinky toe side of your left foot, a little ahead of it, and use that strength and take as many steps as you need to lift the right foot off the ground and come to a half moon pose, also known as Ardha Chandrasana. Right hand is also coming towards the sky to help lift me out of my hips, lift me off the earth. However many steps it takes, gently bend through the left leg and step the right foot back, coming to peaceful warrior. Cartwheel the hands down to frame the left foot and move through your vinyasa, or skip it all together. Don't pay any attention to me. I'll meet you in downward facing dog. Last round, lift the right leg to the sky. Exhale, step it forward. You know what to do. Spin that back heel down and rise to your warrior two. Flip the right palm up and back, peaceful warrior. Coming down to your extended side angle pose. Whether your right hand is on the earth or on the top of your thigh, maybe you wrap the left arm so it meets the right hip crease for a half bind. Maybe you try and it doesn't feel good. You can just relift that arm. Nothing's permanent, right? If you'd like to, you can keep the bind as you straighten through that right leg and come to a triangle pose. Even if your left hand is bound, take a look over your left shoulder. Look down at your toes. We'll rebend to find our extended side angle just for a moment once again before switching our hand to the outside of the right foot, the pinky toe side. And we'll come back up for a second try at Ardha Chandrasana. Maybe you stay bound, which is sure a challenge because that arm lifted helps us come out of the hips, helps us to stay balanced, right? Maybe you take a gentle bend in that right leg to give it some love. And exhale, left foot to meet right and fold forward. You deserve it. Slowly inhale to rise. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. We'll meet in a mountain pose, Tadasana. Shift your weight into your right foot, really rooting down through the big toe, through the pinky, through either side of the heel. And inhale, the left knee in for a little hug. Grab it with both hands. And then move your right hand to your right hip and open up the left hip to the side. I'll come show you. You stay exactly where you are. We're just gently opening the left hip, guiding it with the left hand. I'm keeping my foot flexed. Just a personal preference. Finding stability in that right leg. Bring the knee back to center. And however many steps it takes you, send the left foot back. We'll come to a peaceful warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down and move through your flow or skip it all together. I'll meet you in downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg to sky. Exhale, step it forward between the palms, spin the back heel down. We're rising to our favorite warrior two. Maybe not our favorite, but it's sure mine. Flip the left palm, inhale up and back, peaceful warrior. Come down to your extended side angle pose of your choice. Half bound or not. Trust yourself. Trust your body. Straighten through the left leg and come up to a triangle pose. Again, half bound or not. Keep sending that left hip crease back. Rooting down through that left big toe. Take a slight bend in the left leg as we come up to our half moon pose, our Ardha Chandrasana. Again, hands can be on a block just above your left foot on the pinky toe side. Stacking the hips, stacking the shoulders. I like to pretend I'm pushing a wall away with my right foot. And on your next exhale, bend through both knees. Bring the right foot to meet the left and fold forward at the top of your mat. Inhale, slowly rise up. You stay where you are. I'm just going to come to show you what we're doing. Move the weight into your left foot. Maybe you take a slight bend in that left knee. As you inhale, bring your right knee in for a hug. You can take your left hand to your left hip and gently move the right hip or the right knee, opening up the right hip to the right side. A variation on what we call Utthita Asta Padangusthasana B. A mouthful, right? And whenever you're ready, no matter how many steps it takes you, bring the right foot back to peaceful warrior, lifting the left arm up and back, cartwheeling the hands down for one last vinyasa. If you're sick of these vinyasas, if you're like, Emily, please move on, just meet me in downward facing dog. Changing it up just a bit. Inhale the right leg to sky. Exhale, step it forward between the palms. Lower that left knee. We've been here before. We're rising to crescent lunge. Maybe this time we don't dip so far in the left hip. We more find length in the spine. Hands can come to heart center. And we'll take a twist to the right. If it's available, you can hook your left elbow on the outside of your right knee, continuing to draw that right hip crease back. And using your hands pressing together to be what twists your heart open. Now for a challenge, tuck those left toes and lift the left knee for a low lunge twist just briefly before stepping the left foot to meet the right for a chair twist, no matter how many steps it takes you. We'll let the twist go and come to a neutral chair position or Utkatasana, sending the hips back, chest is high and proud. Weight will come into the right foot as we cross the left foot over the right for an eagle pose. Maybe you just simply cross the left leg over, or maybe you're able to wrap the foot around the right shin. Left arm will come under right for an eagle wrap. Maybe you hold onto the wrist. Maybe you're half wrapped like this. All depends on your body. There's no right or wrong. You'll unwind back to a chair pose, both feet on the earth. And as you come to straighten the legs, bring the left knee in for a hug, just as we did before. But this time we'll keep the right hand on the left knee and open up the left arm back behind us for a twist. Really finding strength in our core, in our right glute, maybe taking a slight bend in that right knee, rooting through the right big toe to keep us tall, standing upright. It's okay if you fall though, right? We're not here to judge. Inhale the left arm to frame the left ear and step the left foot back, high lunge. Whew. Give that right foot a little bit of a break. We'll come down to frame the right foot, step the right foot to meet the left, lower the knees, and come to a child's pose. Well-deserved child's pose. Breathing into the back body. When you're ready, we'll slide forward onto our stomachs. Tops of the feet will be on the earth. You can even let the palms come on either side of your hips. On an inhale, we'll draw the shoulders away from the ears, lift the hands, and lift the chest. Maybe, if this feels okay on our low backs, the feet come off of the earth as well. Breathing here for a slight back bend, hamstring strengthener. On your next exhale, let it all go and come to the earth. You can let your forehead rest on the earth. And if you choose, we'll push the hips to meet the heels in another child's pose. Maybe a wide-legged child's pose this time, with the knees as wide as the mat and your belly comes in between your legs. Finding some more openness in the hips, where we tend to hold our emotion. So hold our tension, our anger maybe, our frustration, our disappointment. Trying to wring all that out. Inhale, move through your tabletop, tuck the toes, and lift the hips for your downward facing dog. We're so close to being done. I'm so proud of you. Inhale the left leg to sky. Exhale, step it forward. Lower that right knee. We're coming up to our crescent lunge. Finding length in the arms or having them come to the hips for just a brief moment before we bring them together at heart center. And before we twist, finding length in the spine, drawing the left hip crease back, the right hip forward, and then we twist to the left. You could stay right here, or you can hook the right elbow on the left knee, keeping the left hip crease drawing back and the right hip crease drawing forward. Really pressing those hands together and maybe looking over your left shoulder. Tuck the right toes, lift the right knee. Things get a little wobbly maybe, and as many steps as it takes you, step the right foot to meet the left for a chair twist. Really sink the hips as deeply as you can here while keeping that twist. Feeling that opening of the torso. And let the twist go and come to a neutral chair pose. Weight comes into the left leg as we cross the right over for an eagle wrap. Single or double. Same goes for the arms. We'll stay upright today. Sometimes people like to fold in their eagles. We're gonna be keeping the heart high today. Maybe you wobble, maybe you fall, that's okay, right? You come right back. Unwind the legs. Come to a quick chair pose to shift the weight into the left leg. And inhale, rise, bringing the right foot with us. We'll keep the left hand on the right knee as the right arm opens out behind us. Maybe you try to look at your right fingertips. Maybe you wobble, maybe you fall. Half the challenge is where we're looking, right? Our perspective. And sometimes that perspective needs to be shaken up a little bit to let something go. Inhale the right arm to frame the right ear. Let go of the knee and let it step behind you for a high lunge. Exhale the hands to frame the left foot. Plant the palms, step to a plank pose, and we'll lower directly all the way onto our stomachs. We're going to take another little back bend, and what we did before might have been enough for you. And you'll have two options this time for a deeper back bend. So our arms will come to frame our hips, tops of the feet on the earth. Draw the shoulders away from the ears and let it lift you higher. Maybe you lift the hands. Maybe you clasp the hands behind the back and draw them down the spine, really lifting yourself higher. Maybe you lift the legs. Maybe from there, your knees bend and you kick your butt with your heels and you let the hands go and grab the feet. Kick the feet back, really opening that heart. This is a really deep back bend, really intense shoulder stretch. So if this is too much, just let the feet go and clasp the hands, or let the hands be winged on either side of you. Wherever you are, take one more deep inhale and exhale, let it go. You can bring your cheek to the earth, your forehead. Maybe close the eyes. Come back to your breath. We'll meet in a wide-legged child's pose whenever you're ready. On your next inhale, slowly roll up to sit on your shins. Bring the feet out from underneath you and come to a seat. Your legs can go long out in front of you just for a moment. We'll bring the knees up into us and let them splay out open while the feet come together. They can be as close as you can get them or as wide as you need them. Really depends on the openness of your hips, the comfort of your knees. Inhaling to lengthen the spine and exhale, folding forward, keeping that length. Instead of rounding, we keep the length, shoulders away from the ears. Just one last release of the hips, release of tension, of unwanted emotion. Slowly roll up. Let the legs, the knees come together and the legs go out long. And come to lie on your back. You can let the legs go out long. Find a comfortable position. Inhale, bring the right knee in for a hug. Right arm comes out long on your side. And left hand guides the right knee over for a twist. Again, can be as deep or as gentle as you need. We'll only be here for a moment. Inhale the right knee back up to center. Send that leg long and switch. Left knee comes in for a hug. Left arm comes out long to your side. Left knee twists to the right. Keeping the left shoulder on the earth. Maybe you look towards your left fingertips. Tapping back in to those inhales and exhales through the nose, if that became unavailable to you while we were moving and grooving. Oftentimes when we start building heat, we lose our breath, and that's okay. That's the practice, right? Inhale the left leg back up to center. Let it go out long. We'll meet in Shavasana. You can let the eyes come to a close. Get out any last fidgets and jitters. Just feeling yourself melt into the earth. Letting go of any tension in the body, in the mind.
And if things start coming up, if your mind starts trying to find tension, which I know mine often does, bring your attention to the breath. You don't have to get mad at yourself. Just simply switch your focus. I'm going to stop talking for just a moment so you can have some time with yourself, but trust that I'm still here and that I will bring us out of Shavasana together to close out class. If you'd like to stay in Shavasana, please do so. You have all the time in the world. If you'd like to come back to class, start to deepen the breath, take little movements, wiggles in the fingers and the toes. Bend through the knees, bringing the feet to the earth, and rolling onto one side to a fetal position, and using your hands to bring you up to a seat. Maybe you keep your eyes closed the whole time. There's nothing I'm doing that you need to see. Stay with yourself and your breath. You might have found that even in your yoga practice, there are moments of tension, moments of expectation, even moments of judgment. But the mat is where we practice, right? Where we practice for our lives. So in those moments, if there was tension, if there was judgment, if there was expectation, we learn from that while we're on our mat, so we can let it go in our lives. Thank you so much for joining me today, for sharing your light and your love. Bring your hands together at heart center. Namaste.